Hello, dear friends. Today we shall have a discussion about a famous poem by William Wordsworth, To the Cuckoo. Let's know about the poet. William Wordsworth is well known for establishing a romantic movement in the English world with the help of the famous poet and philosopher Samuel Taylor Coleridge in the 18th century. The British poet was born on the 7th April 1770 in England. His mother died, leaving him alone at the age of 8, and this experience is seen in his later works. His love for poetry was firmly established after he attended Hawkshire Grammar School. His father too left the world, leaving him and his four siblings orphaned. His tour of Europe had a great influence on his poetry and his political sensibilities. His notable works include lyrical ballads, The Prelude, An Evening Walk, and descriptive sketches, and the love letters of William and Mary Wordsworth. Let's know about the poem. It's a lyrical pastoral poem in 8 stanzas. It can also be called as an ode to the cuckoo bird. The poet has directly addressed this poem to the cuckoo and expresses his love, devotion, and yearning to visually glimpse of cuckoo throughout the poem. The poet hears the cuckoo and is in awe and wonder on the off chance that it is something more than a winged animal. His marvel ascends from the memory of his youth when the cuckoo opens up the universe of the creative energy to him. The cuckoo bird is an arranged image of innocence, gaiety, purity, and boyhood. Stanza 1. O blithe newcomer, I have heard, I hear thee and rejoice. O cuckoo, shall I call thee bird, but a wandering voice? Wordsworth welcomes the cuckoo bird with a sense of familiarity, as he says he has heard him before. Calling the cuckoo a blithe newcomer alludes to the fact that the cuckoo is free and is not subject to the restrictions of human life. The cuckoo is free from all worldly worries. The first stanza itself sets the tone for the rest of the poem, as the poet makes it clear that he is addressing the cuckoo. The cuckoo bird's voice brings back joyous memories to the poet, and thus he rejoices. The third and the fourth line of the poem are suggestive of the idea that the poet has never actually seen the bird and knows him only by his voice. He expresses his he expresses this when he asks the cuckoo whether he should call him a bird or his identity will remain as that of a wandering voice. Stanza 2. While I'm lying on the grass, thy twofold shout I hear, from hill to hill it seems to pass, at once far off and near. Wordsworth is lying on the grass when he hears the cuckoo's call. The effect of echoing has been spoken in the stanza. The cuckoo's voice echoes across hills and reaches the poet. This gives the impression of the voice being once close, then again far off. The fact that the poet is lying on the grass while hearing the cuckoo's song gives the reader an idea of how close and deeply attached to nature the poet is. The wandering cuckoo's song is everywhere and it submerges the entire milieu in its melody. The poet also reveals to the reader how he discovers that the voice is that of a cuckoo. The twofold shout that he hears is something that is exclusive to the cuckoo, hence the poet reaches his conclusion. Stanza 3. Thou babbling only to the vale of sunshine and of flowers, thou bringest unto me tale of visionary hours. Despite singing to the valley, talking about sunshine and flowers, the cuckoo bird's voice brings back many memories to the poet. The cuckoo bird wanders about in the valley that is brimming with flowers and sunshine. Thus, the bird songs too are an ode to these aspects of nature. To Wordsworth, these songs have a completely different relevance. They act as an element of nostalgia, transporting the poet to the days of his past. He calls those times visionary hours, as he cannot go back to them in person and can only envision them from his memory. This indicates the poet remembers the cuckoo from his childhood. Stanza 4. Thrice welcome, the darling of the spring, even yet thou art to me no bird but an invisible thing, a voice, a mystery. The poet welcomes the cuckoo thrice, indicating his excitement and eagerness. The cuckoo is addressed as the darling of the spring. He arrives with the genesis of spring, singing about valleys, flowers, and other beauties of nature. This is where the poet clearly states that he has never seen the cuckoo in reality. He recognizes him by his voice. Thus, to the poet, the cuckoo is less than of an actual living bird, more of a mysterious voice whom he wants to see. The bird has been visually hidden from the poet through all these years, yet his song strikes such emotions in him that the poet remembers the cuckoo bird by his voice. 5. The same home in my schoolboy days I listened to that cry, which made me look 1,000 ways in the bush and tree and sky. In this stanza, the poet is transported to the days of his childhood when he used to listen to the cry of the cuckoo and go 1,000 ways to place the source of the voice. He left no possible place undiscovered, be it the bushes, the trees, or the sky. The tone of the poet is overtly nostalgic in these lines as it clearly expresses his unfulfilled desire to get a glimpse of the audition of the voice that he remembers from his boyhood. So desperate was the poet to locate the bird that he scourged all possible nooks and crannies in his endeavor to get visual satisfaction. The cuckoo's voice has fascinated the poet and fired his need to locate the bird so that he could see for himself the source of such melody. Stanza 6. To seek thee did I often rove through woods and on the green, and thou wert still a hope, a love, still longed for, never seen. Wordsworth addresses the bird, telling him how much finding him means to him. The poet wandered constantly, looking for the bird in woods, anywhere and everywhere. This is an indication of the poet's dedication towards locating the source of the voice. Despite being unsuccessful in the past, the poet hasn't given up and says that he still hopes to find the bird. Wordsworth has also confessed his love for the cuckoo bird. In the last line of the poem, the poet states that he still yearns to find the bird and see for himself that there is more to the cuckoo than just his voice. The poet hasn't lost hope yet. He still wants to find his love. Stanza 7. And I can listen to thee yet, can lie upon the plain and listen till I do visit that golden time again. With this stanza, the poet again travels back to the present and says that he can still listen to the cuckoo lying on the ground and produce memories of his childhood. This stanza is in a whole sentence, and it cannot be interpreted line-wise. Wordsworth was a romantic poet, and by labeling his childhood as a golden time, he confines this to his romantic genre of poetry. Like gold, he implies that his childhood was precious to him and that he wants to relive the moments of his schoolboy days by lying down on the grass and listening to the voice of the cuckoo. The poet is nostalgic and wants to conjure up memories of his childhood by relying on the cuckoo's cry. Stanza 8. O blessed bird, the earth we pace again appears to be an unsubstantial fairy place that is fit home for thee. Blessed encompasses the poet's love and devotion towards the cuckoo. Wordsworth called the earth unsubstantial. That's an unrealistic place for fairies. This could be because the earth has mesmerizing elements of nature, like the sky, woods, rivers, valleys, but at the same time, the earth is plagued by the restrictions of industrial life, which curbs the freedom of an individual. It's a place which, with such enchanting contradictions, that is fit for the cuckoo. The use of the term again alludes to the fact that with the arrival of the bird cuckoo, the earth takes on such a guise. The poet also means that the earth that is so versatile is a perfect dwelling for the bird cuckoo, as he is also full of contradictions. Hence, we can say the poem To the Cuckoo captures Wordsworth's love for nature and all the accompanying elements of nature. This is a lyrical pastoral poem that is an ode to the cuckoo bird. The poet describes the significance of the voice of the cuckoo bird in his life. It focuses how the cuckoo bird in spring season that welcomes happiness and vitality enters his life and takes him on a trip down the memory lane of golden times. That's his childhood. The poet's tone is merry and very light. Wordsworth also uses imagery and other literary devices to convey the immortality and visionary gleam he feels when he hears the bird cuckoo. So dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. For more videos, kindly subscribe. Let's say learn, unlearn, and relearn. Happy learning. Thank you once again.